Hi everyone. Let's begin with our module for this chapter. Let's begin with the chapter for this module. We are going to do the major agencies of the United Nations, which is chapter 14. So please open your textbooks. I'm going to do this book basically from the textbook for the simple reason that it's a short chapter and you've got to learn everything that is given in this chapter, and we have to even look at the pictures. So I have not made any notes on this. We are going to do it directly from the text. Okay, so let's begin, and as we go by, of course, we'll keep underlining things so that it's easier for us. First one, the UN, your syllabus, of course, UNICEF, WHO, UNESCO, headquarters and functions. The UN has several specialized agencies through which it operates. These agencies work for special and economic development of the developing countries. Each agency has a particular agenda that it follows worldwide. The main functions of some of the important agencies are given as below. Okay, the first one is UNICEF. UNICEF stands for the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, which was created by the UN General Assembly during its first session in 1946 to help the emergency needs of the children in post-war Europe. In 1950, please underline, it extended the program to provide a long-range benefit to the children of all the developing countries. So it expanded from Europe to everybody. Later on, its name was changed to United Nations Children's Fund. However, the acronym UNICEF continues, and UNICEF is governed by a 36-member executive board which reviews the UNICEF activities and approves its policies. So we need to know this also, which reviews all the policies and the country programs and the budgets. And where are the headquarters? The UNICEF has its headquarters in New York, and it has more than 200 offices in developing countries. You should know this point also. Then the finance, it gets its finance from voluntary contributions made by different governments, donations made by private agencies, sale of greeting cards. You must have seen behind the greeting cards, you have a lot of time written made by UNICEF. So if you buy one of those cards or two of those cards or whatever number, you are helping UNICEF. So sale of UNICEF cards is an important source of the income. Worldwide sale of these cards generates the funds of more than $1 million. So just, you don't know how much you are helping. These cards are creating a donation of, not a donation, it generates funds of $100 million, all of which is spent on the programs to benefit children. Almost all the resources of the UNICEF are diverted to the poorest developing countries, with the largest share going to children up to the age of 5. Along with WHO, UNDP and other United Nations agencies, UNICEF has achieved success in fulfilling its objectives. So it is working in collaboration with the other agencies of the United Nations, and it is a very successful thing. Now, what is the objective? The objective is to look after the children's welfare, especially in those of the developing countries, by providing with low-cost community-based services in maternal and child health, nutrition, immunization, etc. So basically, the basic objective is to help children in developing nations. Now, what are the functions? This is the part of the syllabus. The first function, UNICEF works for the protection of children in respect to their survival, health and well-being. This is done in cooperation with individual civic groups, governments and private sectors. So the first function you underline till well-being. Then it provides funds for training the personnel, including health and sanitation workers, teachers and nutritionists. Universal child immunization against preventable diseases was one of the leading goals of UNICEF. So we have 2 points over here. First point will be up to nutritionists, and second point would be up to universal child immunization. Then next, it provides technical supplies, equipments and other aids ranging from paper for textbooks to equipment and medicines to the health clinics to pipes and pumps for bringing clean water to the villages. So it also provides all this sort of aid also. It helps to provide for pipes and pumps also, so that you get clean drinking water. So again, we can make this into 2 points. One is up to health clinic, and the other one is to provide money for pipes and pumps to bring clean drinking water. It assists the government It assists governments to plan, develop, and extend community based services in the fields of maternal and child health, nutrition, clean water, and sanitation. It provides help to children and mothers in emergencies arising from natural calamities, civil strife, and epidemics. So, it provides help to children and to mothers also. Okay, it makes effort to prevent, so that entire point. It makes efforts to prevent diseases like TB, that is tuberculosis, malaria, eye disease, skin disease, etc. UNICEF performs various other functions as the sole agency for children. It speaks on behalf of the children and upholds the Convention on the Rights of Child and works for its implementation. UNICEF was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in the year 1965 and the Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace in the year 1989. So please remember, UNICEF has been awarded these two peace prizes. One was the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1965 and the Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace in 1989. Now, what are the UNICEF programs in India? Children, there's nothing to explain. All this is just basically learning by heart. So, I think you should be able to learn it. Okay. Now, UNICEF's goal is to enable every child born in India to have the best start in life, to thrive, and to develop to his or her full potential. We are talking about the programs in India, okay? UNICEF has been a driving force in almost all the programs started by the government of India for providing people with low-cost community-based services in maternal health and child health, nutrition, clean drinking water, sanitation, and immunization. The major programs launched with the aid of the assistance of UNICEF in India are as following. So, what are the major programs? The first one, the government of India has launched in collaboration with the UNICEF the National Mission on Immunization, the National Mission for Drinking Water, and the National Literary Mission. So, it has basically got these three programs in India. Please underline all of them, you should know them. UNICEF is committed to ensuring all children in India have access to inclusive and equitable quality education. It is working closely with the Government of India, state governments in 17 states, civic society, academic institutions, and the private sector. It is working with the government to ensure that every child in India has an access to clean water, basic toilets, as well as practices good hygiene behavior. We have all these four pictures which are shown to us over here. The first one, you can see the clean drinking water which has been through a pump, it's coming out, okay. Then immunization, even at your house you would be having people who come for polio drops, etc. So that is immunization. Then literacy, it helps in educating the children. And then maternal health, it not only helps children, it also helps their mothers. Okay, because if a mother is strong and if a mother is healthy, the child will obviously grow up to be strong and healthy. So UNICEF takes care of both. Community development program has been started in the rural areas of India with UNICEF's assistance aimed at maternal and child health. The government's efforts to reduce infant and child mortality rate due to diarrheal diseases were supported by UNICEF for the production of oral rehydration therapy, which is ORT. In fact, even when we fall sick sometimes and we suffer from diarrhea, you go to the chemist shop and you get these oral rehydration packets, right? So in 1986, ORT has become a full-fledged national program. UNICEF is a partner of the Indian government in the Accelerated Rural Water Supply Program. Since the 1990s, the Government of India, UNICEF, and the other UN agencies have been working together for the promotion of the iodized salt as the best way of preventing iodine deficiency disorders. So you always get salt which is iodized. I remember when I was small, we used to buy salt, and the only salt producing company we knew of at that time was Tata Salt. So we used to buy Tata Salt, and then Tata Salt people, they came up with another one, Tata iodized salt. So till today, I am using Tata iodized salt. I don't go for any other salt. Not that I'm canvassing for Tata salt, but I'm just telling you my experience. Okay, that is what we mean by iodized salt. Okay, so iodine deficiency disorders are taken care of. UNICEF seeks to advance the fulfillment of the rights of all women and children in India to survival, development, participation, and protection by reducing social inequalities based on gender, caste, ethnicity, or region. So this is how the UNICEF is helping India and the Indian government and the state governments. Okay, now we come to the next one, that is WHO. WHO is the World Health Organization. The WHO, that is the World Health. Now children, how will you remember this? Because there are so many functions to remember, so you can form your own acronym. I'm not forming it for you, but you know what is an acronym. So form your own acronym so that you remember the functions. Similarly for the programs, you remember what exactly programs are happening. Form your own acronyms, whatever suits you the best, and then join it, correlate it, so that when you're writing your answers, you know what to do. Okay, remember, always form acronyms when there are too many functions or there are too many objectives to be learned. Now we come to the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization is the United Nations Special Agency for Health. It was established on April 7th, 1948, where 26 members of the United Nations ratified its constitution. April 7th is celebrated as the World Health Day every year. Please remember this. Now, what is the objective? The attainment of the highest possible level of the health by all people. Health is defined in World Health Organization's constitution. Now, what is the definition of health? According to WHO. So, WHO has defined health as a state of complete well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So it does not mean that you should not be sick. It also means complete health. That means you have the required number of minerals, required number of vitamins, required number of carbohydrates, the complete health. That is what it is aiming for. Okay, the headquarters of WHO is in Geneva, Switzerland. We need to remember where the headquarters are. So the headquarters of World Health Organization are in Geneva, Switzerland. Then the functions. Remember, I've told you at the beginning that our syllabus covers headquarters and functions. You have to remember that. Okay, that is for your syllabus. So headquarters of UNICEF was in New York. Headquarters of WHO is in Geneva, Switzerland. Then the WHO performs the following functions. What are the functions that they perform? It helps all countries to improve their health system by building up infrastructure, especially manpower, institutions, and services for the individual and the community. It gives important drugs needed for medical care. The WHO launched a program to immunize children against 6 major diseases. So the World Health Organization has launched a program that is one of its main functions to handle 6 major diseases, and which are they? Measles, diphtheria, tetanus, tuberculosis, polio, and whooping cough. It has a major program for all these diseases. Okay, then the next one, it promotes research to cure and prevent diseases. So not only does it launch a program to give medicine, but it also promotes research. When you want to do research on a particular disease, then the World Health Organization helps you. So it promotes research to cure and prevent diseases. For example, it arranged for the investigation of cancer and heart diseases in laboratories of many countries to identify disease-causing organisms, to improve vaccines, and to train the research workers. So it also helps in research. Then it works towards providing safe drinking water and adequate waste disposal. Waste disposal and sanitation is also very important. It's a very important part of health. It is not just eating healthy things. It is how you dispose your waste, which is equally important. So the sanitary workers, starting from the person who comes to collect the waste of your household at your doorstep, right up to where it reaches the ultimate. and what is done with that waste. Every single link is important, and every single link has to be revered, because they are doing a great job for the society, without which, if there is no proper sanitation, if there is no proper disposal of your waste, then you would be suffering from the maximum number of diseases which you cannot even imagine. So the next time a person knocks at your door to say that he or she has come to pick up the waste from your house, please remember to respect that person and revere the duties that they are doing. Okay, so we come to that. So it trains everybody. It works towards uplifting and providing safe drinking water and adequate waste disposal. The decade of 1981 to 1990 was declared as the International Drinking Water Supply and Sanitation Decade. Okay, so this is very important. Like I told you about sanitation and waste disposal, it's very close to my heart, and that is why I have given a little bit of advice on it. हालांकि आजकल जब किसी को नसीहत देते हैं तो लोग ये समझते हैं कि हम दखलंदाजी कर रहे हैं, लेकिन मैं दखलंदाजी नहीं कर रही हूँ और मैं नसीहत भी नहीं दे रही हूँ. मैं सिर्फ अपना अभिप्राय बयान कर रही हूँ. Okay, you need to revere and respect the person who comes at your doorstep to take away the waste that you have collected in your dustbin. And please remember to keep your dustbins, your personal dustbins, also very, very clean. Then next, it organizes conferences, seminars and training for healthcare personnel from different countries. Then the World Health Organization aims at fighting diseases and preventing them from spreading. Malaria eradication program continues to be the world's biggest health program. It defines the standards for the strength and purity of medicines, including biological products. It makes special efforts in combating diarrheal diseases, which are known to be the killers of infants and young children. It publishes health journals like Bulletin for World Health Organization and Public Health Panorama to create health consciousness among people. And with that, I also feel that all of us should do personally whatever we can to promote these functions of the World Health Organization in whatever way we can. Okay. Then we come to UNESCO. Now, what is a UNESCO? The UNESCO stands for, okay, you can see the logo of the World Health Organization given to you over there. So that is the logo of the World Health Organization, which we need to remember. If you are given this logo and you are asked which the questions that you can be asked is, which agency is this? This logo represents which agency? So you say it represents World Health Organization. Where are the headquarters situated? The headquarters are situated in Switzerland, Geneva, Switzerland. Then what are its main functions? Then you give the functions. What are the diseases that they have dealt with? So measles, diphtheria, tetanus, tuberculosis, polio, of course, and whooping cough. Okay, so then accordingly, so remember the logo. Okay, have I missed out on any other logo? Yes, there was a logo of the UNICEF also. The UNICEF logo has got a, so please look at that logo also. And we come to the logo of the World Health Organization. Next we come to UNESCO. Please mark the logo of UNESCO. It's very easy because it has got the acronym UNESCO written on it. Okay, and what does it stand for? It stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So beautiful, no? UNESCO, United Nations, Education, Scientific and Cultural. So it covers everything. Okay, even your cultural programs are covered by the UNESCO. So let's read. And where was this held? A conference was held at London in November 1945 for the establishment of the UNESCO. So where has the UNESCO been established? In London. There was a conference which was held in 1945 to establish UNESCO. This led to the establishment of the UNESCO on 4th November 1946. So it was November 1945 in London. There was a conference held, and the UNESCO was established on 4th November 1946, and the headquarters, of course, are in Paris. Please remember that even though everything was done in London, the headquarters was established in Paris. Okay. So the main objective of UNESCO is to contribute for peace and security in the world by promoting collaboration among the nations through education. So please remember, if you are asked a detailed question, please do not confuse. The conference was held at London in November 1945, and it was established on 4th November 1946. The headquarters are, the last line is given to you in the next paragraph, the headquarters are in Paris. Okay. So now we come to the functions. Education. The largest sector of UNESCO's activity is in the field of education, and the main functions of the UNESCO in the field of education are as follows. But before that, I want you to see the functions of the UNESCO. The pictures are given to you very well. The first one is the intangible cultural heritage. We have a picture of Kolkata, right? That is, it's a typical picture of the Kolkata Devi during the Navratri time, and that is being shown to you. Most of you all would be knowing it, but I wanted to mention it, so I mentioned you in case you don't know. And then, of course, the next picture for cultural heritage is the one of Ras and Garba of Gujarat, which is very obvious. The dress, you can see it's of Gujarat. Then, of course, you have education, and then you have the scientific activities, means research, etc. So UNESCO functions has all these pictures. Please remember your pictures. That is the reason I'm doing this from the textbook, because I want you all to look at the pictures simultaneously. Okay. Now, what are the functions in the field of education? First one, removal of illiteracy by encouragement to adult education, distance education, and the open school system. So most of you all, you are in the ICSE, you would be knowing, you would be having friends or classmates who would have in standard 8 opted for the NIOS. What is NIOS? The open education system in India. So where you don't appear for the entire ICSE, but you appear for different subjects and you go for NIOS system. That is the open school system. Okay. And it also encourages adult education and distance education. If you are sitting in one part of the world or in one part of the nation, you can go in for distance education also, and the open school system. Okay. Then the emphasis is on the education of women and girls, financial assistance for education of the disabled children. So every single person of every single category, irrespective of caste, culture, creed, race, has been addressed by the UNESCO. Okay, they address everybody, and everybody has a right to education. The right to education is one of the fundamental rights of our constitution. Also, we have done the fundamental rights when I was doing the judiciary with you all. So the right to education is for everybody. Then the provisions of grants and fellowships to teachers and scholars, organization of library systems, promotion of international understanding through education, organization of book fairs and festivals at international and national levels. Here is an example. Development of a library system is an important component contributing continuing education. You must learn to go to the library, and to develop libraries is also an important function. Even though everybody is available, every piece of information is available on the net, on Google, you get everything, but still the library forms an important part. The very fact that you have a book in front of you, the very fact that according to what your brain thinks and what you are able to correlate with your brain, you are able to underline, you are able to bracket, you are able to remember. Therefore, books are very important, and learning from books is very, very important. Even though you have everything available on Google, you do have information. But when you get information on Google, my sincere advice, unasked for advice, is that you write. Because when we write, it has been proved by research that we have nerves in the first finger and the thumb, and these nerves are connected to that part of your brain. I am not a science teacher, but I know it is connected to that part of the brain which helps you to retain, which helps your memory to function well. Therefore, libraries are very important and books are very important. Okay. So the UNESCO does that also. It organizes books, book fairs and festivals at international and national levels. Okay. What was it? Where is it gone? The Delhi Public Library, established in 1951 with the financial assistance from UNESCO, has developed into a big metropolitan public library system. Then the encouragement of science education by providing regional training centers. Now I know you all can read this together, but the reason I'm reading it with you is that I want you all to mark as we are reading. So in the first point, we mark removal of illiteracy by encouragement to all up to the open system. Then emphasis on education for women and girls. Then financial assistance to the specially able children. Then you have provision for grants and fellowships to teachers and scholars. Then the next point is organization of book fairs and festivals at national and international level. And then the example you need to remember, mark from there, Delhi Public Library, established in 1951 with the financial assistance from UNESCO. Next one, encouragement of science education by providing regional training centers and promotion of education as an instrument of international understanding. So we have all these points which we have marked. You have to just jot them down. If it's a 3-mark question, you give 6 points. If it is a 2-mark question, you give 4 points. Okay, so that is the way you will answer your question. 6 marks, 3 marks, 6 points, 2 marks, 4 points. Now, what are the scientific activities? This was as far as education was concerned. Remember, UNESCO deals with, where is it gone? Yeah, the main objective is through education, science, culture and communication. Mark that also. So now we come to the science part of it. The scientific activities. UNESCO organizes seminars and conferences of scientists of various countries and circulates the information. Okay, that is the first point. Its Hindi and Tamil editions are available in India. So we have 2 editions in India of its magazine. The magazine is called Courier. Okay, so please remember, Courier is the official monthly magazine of UNESCO. This can come as a 1-mark question. Courier is the official monthly magazine of the UNESCO, and its Hindi and Tamil editions are available in India. It promotes the basic research in fields like geology, mathematics, physics and oceanography. Next point, it helps in correcting the imbalance in scientific and technological manpower. Bracket till there. It encourages the study of social sciences in order to focus attention on combating all forms of discrimination, improving the status of women, and helping the youth in solving their problems. Then we come to communication. UNESCO develops communication for dissemination of information. Dissemination means distributing. It has set up regional networks, trained technicians, and deals both with hardware and software aspects of informatics. It improves the quality of the press and the film and the video services. It assists in developing countries to develop communication. It upholds the freedom of the press and independence of the media. Then how does it preserve your cultural heritage? It encourages modernization without the loss of the cultural identity and diversity. World Heritage List, that is the first thing. What does it do? You must have seen, when you go to a lot of these places, you find a board of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it is protected by the UNESCO. UNESCO provides technical advice and assistance, equipment and funds for the preservation of monuments and other works of art. It has prepared a list of World Heritage lists to identify the monuments and sites which are to be protected. That you can Google. Sorry. Manuscripts It aims to protect the world inheritance of books, works of art, and rare manuscripts. The UNESCO gives the ICH tag to give recognition to cultural practices, traditions, and skills that are passed down through generations. Very important. What is this ICH tag which is given by the UNESCO? So, ICH means it is a tag which is given to cultural practices, traditions, and skills that are passed down through generations. Okay. It includes oral traditions, performing arts, social practices, rituals, festive events, knowledge, and skills about nature and universe. The ICH tag, please underline, it helps to preserve cultural diversity and strengthen social cohesion and help the communities to maintain their cultural history. Art, it gives encouragement to artistic creations and literature and fine arts. Then films, it pays attention towards the cultural development through the medium of films. Travel grants, it sends cultural missions to different countries so that there would be development of contacts which may promote peace and prosperity. Okay, then how is India associated to UNESCO? India has been a member of UNESCO since its inception in 1946. So we are a part of UNESCO from 1946 itself. Okay. In 1949, the government of India set up a national commission for cooperation with UNESCO. So you have to remember that in 1949, the government of India set up a national commission of cooperation with UNESCO, consisting of sub-commissions, etc. These commissions promote UNESCO programs and send personnel to participate in international conferences, seminars, workshops organized by the UNESCO. So you can underline that. How do these commissions help? Up to UNESCO. Okay. The UNESCO provides funds and expertise for the protection of many historical monuments and sites like the Taj Mahal. So the Taj Mahal is being provided by UNESCO financial assistance to preserve it. Okay. Then India was elected to the Intergovernmental Committee for the year 2003. Convention on the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage for a period of 4 years. For 4 years, okay. So till 4 years. This provided India an opportunity to play a role in preserving the intangible cultural heritage worldwide. So for 4 years, India was a part of the ICH and it was given an opportunity to preserve intangible cultural heritage worldwide, all over the world. So what is the meaning of ICH? Intangible cultural heritage. And that tag is given by whom? By the UNESCO. Okay. Okay, this box over here which you have on your on this page, it has given you UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage elements. Okay, so what are the ICH tags which have been received in India? First one is Sankirtan, ritual singing, drumming and dancing of Manipur, Durga Puja in Kolkata, Kumbh Mela, yoga, Navroz, traditional brass and copper craft of the utensil, making among the Tatheras, that is the beaters of the Jandiala Guru Punjab, Buddhist chanting of Ladakh, the Chau dance, the Kalbelia folk songs, and the dances of Rajasthan, Kuttiyam, Sanskrit theatre, one of the oldest living theatres. Then Mudiyettu, ritual theatre, and the dance drama of Kerala, Raman, the religious festival and ritual theatre of the Garhwal Himalayas. Traditional and Vedic chanting and the Ramlila, the traditional performance of the Ramayana, the Garba of Gujarat was included in this list in the year 2023. Okay, so you can just remember a few of the ICH tags so that in case you have to give an example, you know. So with that we come to an end of this module, and I have done all pictures we have seen simultaneously. This ICH tag, please remember a few of them at least. and what they mean, and what are the achievements of the World Health Organization. That has been given to you over here. The one which I can see, which is very important, is that India has been declared a polio-free country by the World Health Organization. So the WHO has declared India as a polio-free country. Okay, that is one important achievement. There are lots actually. Even this one, contribution to the COVID-19 pandemic by raising over 200 million through the Solidarity Response Fund to combat COVID-19. You can learn whichever you want, okay? The one which has specifically mention of India is this one, that we have been declared as a polio-free country by the World Health Organization, okay? So with that I come to an end of this chapter. I wish you all happy learning, because this chapter has a lot of learning to do. There is no explanation as such, but just because it's there in your syllabus, so I said I will come up with a model and with a module so that we could do it. Okay, bye and see you all.